Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Anthony Wade. It is still June 10th. Just put out a video on Shane Idleman's announcement that he's leaving Charismania, but apparently not leaving the NAR. But for this episode, we're going to cross the country from California back over to the East Coast and land safely in Tampa, where the latest Faux revival has broken out or was orchestrated. We're going to Jenny Weaver land. For those who don't know Jenny is what I refer to as a masterclass grifter. The kind of grifting that puts like Kenneth Copeland to shame, the kind of grifting that puts Jennifer LeClaire to shame, and those are some pretty decent grifters. So I've tried to explain this before. Let me briefly explain it again. False prophets, teachers, ministers, whatever you want to call them. You know, the scam takes a little building to get to, right? They have to do kind of the grunt work. They have to do their social media. They have to put out freebies. They have to do teachings and teasers and things like that. And then when they lure you into the web, they then fleece you. You know, it's Bethel's August weekly prophetic conference that nets Chris Valentin $1 million every time. It's the schools of the stupid natural that they run, that Bethel runs, and is now the norm in charismaniacal circles. Todd White's lifestyle Christianity nonsense. It's all a grift. But the work to get to the grift, to get to the fleecing, normally before Jenny Weaver was just work. Jenny, though, figured out how to monetize it, and brilliantly so. I am impressed at the scheme that Jenny concocted. Now, Jenny did the work of getting a following, and she had, back in 2022, quite a lot of people following her, and she has even more today. So she created what she calls the core. And what the core is all the day-to-day stuff, full access to Jenny, to everything Jenny does, to anything Jenny creates, right? She sells it as mentorship. She's going to mentor you. She's going to teach you. There's, I believe, a Tuesday night class for the core. I'm not sure if that's done by video or live by Jenny. I don't remember because it's been a while since I covered it. She sells community, and she's very good at it, particularly for the folks down there in Tampa. Right? They really feel like they belong, like any good cult. And it only costs you $20. You know, who's going to miss it? The trick, though, is that when you sign up for it, it's a recurring charge. So you have to sign up with your credit card. And every month, Jenny takes $20 from you. And you don't notice it, probably. I mean, if you were going to seriously work on your budgeting, you're probably not starting with the $20 charge. That's the brilliance. You may say to yourself right now, well, Anthony, it's $20. What are you talking about? She initially in 2023, I believe, reported 13,000 core members. The math on that comes out to $260,000 per month, $3.1 million per year. And that was 2 or 3 years ago. So I don't even know what those numbers are today, because she's only grown in popularity. But Jenny doesn't stop the grifting there, because even though that gets you access, she opened up her own school of the stupid natural, where she has 4 tracks that will set you back $1,000 each. Unless you want to do all 4 at once, then she'll only charge you $2,300. And these are like spiritual warfare, leadership, I think evangelism. I don't know. So really good charismaniacal themed nonsenses. And she has a graduation ceremony. She just had it, actually, where she, made a big spectacle and people walked out with robes and the whole dripping of the academia, except for the fact, of course, that nothing's accredited, right? So basically, Jenny just printed out like their certificates on good bond stock paper and, created a fancy seal or what have you and gave them an hour and a half ceremony where they could all take pictures and then go out to dinner or what have you. But at the end of the day, they didn't really earn anything that was like recognizable, not in the world anyway. Within the apostate church, maybe. But anyway, I digress. That's not all. I mean, if you visited Jenny's page on any given day on Facebook, it is just one thing that she's selling you after another. So she owns her own T-shirt business, and she's selling you that. She owns her own line of supplements. She sells you on that. She had property space where her church is, Core Revival Center. And it was kind of wasted space between the building and the lake. So she went out and bought some cheap, trailers, and she rents them now, if you want to come down for the weekend for a revival. So there's nothing she won't sell you. But it all starts with the core grift, if you will. That establishes her base of revenue. And she's oftentimes, it's the pin post on her Facebook page. That's what she's selling. I want to mentor you. You click the link and oops, you got to sign up for the $20. And that's the thing. She wants to draw as many people in as possible. So anyway, Jenny was approaching the summer and she decided that God told her that this was going to be the summer of souls. And she advertised it like she does. She's very good at branding. And she got she pushed it out there for everybody to kind of see. And then about 11, 12 days ago, things turned. And she started making a definitive push toward the notion that revival was breaking out at the Core Center. She calls it the Chelsea Street Revival, because that's the street that the church started with a baptism ceremony at the beach, and she claimed that a woman born deaf received her hearing back, received a hearing, not back, and of course proceeded to provide absolutely no proof, and just quickly moved on. Posted the video. Here's the thing. We're doing this. Everything is about come down, because or come into the community, because the majority of people who come into the community are probably going to sign up for the core. It's a really deviously brilliant marketing and branding and fleecing scheme that Jenny has going. So anyway, so for the last 11, 12 days or what have you, 10 days, I don't know, she's been claiming a revival. How do I know? Because she has no problem selling it to you, because that's what she does. So you go to her page, and this is June 8th, so this is just the last 2 days. Urgent, if you can take a 2 to 3 minute video about the revival taking place and things you've experienced, please send them to me so I can share them on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. So she's getting the marks, the suckers, to basically do a 2 to 3 testimonial video that she can then share to further promote the Faux revival to bring more people into the web. And here's one. Here's a testimony. Here's a nicely done promotion. Revival is broken out. Here, healings, miracles, and fresh outpouring. Chelsea Street. Go to the Core Revival Center tonight. Revival outpouring in Tampa. This is day 9. 1 a.m. and deliverance is still happening at the Core Revival Center. We're going to continue another night tonight, Monday, 7 p.m. at the Core Revival Center. a gratuitous baptism video of a very cute kid. Uh, I mean, leave your comments. I don't know what you think, but this to me is spiritual child abuse. This kid can't be older than 5 years old. He has no way he can conceptualize sin and the need to repent. Funny story. I remember when I was first saved, and we were at like a little Christian gathering in someone's house, and we were talking about our salvations and like when we got saved, and one of the guys was like, oh, I got saved when I was 4. So I laughed, and he's like, no, I'm serious. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what did Jesus deliver you from? Were you throwing blocks at other kids in the sandbox? It's just not plausible. But I mean, I understand this is what we do with Christianity. We want to see our kids saved. We want to believe that they're saved. We want to have the photo op. We want to have the ceremony. And then when they become teenagers and they, become teenagers, everybody laments and wonders what happened. Well, maybe if you didn't dunk them in water when they were 5 years old, if you actually let them grow up as kids, and then you dealt with salvation when salvation is to be dealt with. Just saying. Anyway, continuing on, revival announcement. Please make another begging. Please make a video testimony of the revival experience. Send it to me ASAP. And sure enough, there's another video testimony. It's posted twice for some reason. Day 9 of revival tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually, it made it to Charisma News. So mycharisma.com. Revival explodes in Tampa. Weekend outpouring is here. But she posts twice. Another different promo. Revival continues. The Lord has given us direction for our divine rhythm. We'll have weekly prayer and fasting leading up to weekend services each week of the summer. Make plans now. So we'll talk about this in the video we're going to cover. But basically, what she realized is she couldn't possibly continue the pace that she was doing. They had done 10 straight nights, and they're like, oh, the Lord has reset our divine rhythm. We're only going to now do, I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're going to leave Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to prayer and fasting, which allow me to translate the Christianese. She doesn't want to have to do this 7 nights a week. So we're going to pretend that we're all just praying and fasting on Monday through Wednesday. And by the way, I mean, listen, by all means, take a break, but just be honest about why you're doing it. Reposted something from the Apostle John Eckhart. All you need to know. We're up to day 10. This ain't no Build-A-Bear church. People are traveling from all over to come to the Tampa Revival this weekend. It's so surreal. And that brings, then there's another testimony that somebody sent her. If you need anything pressure washed, message somebody. And then the new revival schedule, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. at the Core Revival Center. So anyway, we're going to review this lovely video that she just posted 5 hours ago about this fake revival. This revival is generated, marketed, packaged, and sold by Jenny Weaver to you with the goals of they're twofold. One is to draw more people actually in the Tampa area, because the more people in, the more it looks like revival. But more importantly, to draw more people to Jenny Weaver's ministry so that they can then become core members and expand the base of her grift. What they've been doing for 10 days is they've been having church service. That's all. They do the singing and the dancing and the partying, that you get in most charismatical churches. They've done some baptisms. They've done, these kind of faux deliverances, because she's very much a believer of the demon slayer, the apostle, of the 4 horsemen of the demon slaying apocalypse, idiots. And that's it. And every night it's like, oh, the Lord, I've never seen the Lord pour this out before. But the bottom line is, you can rest assured that it's not the Lord, because the Lord would not be pouring out his Spirit upon an obvious charlatan and huckster like Jenny Weaver. So let's dive right in.
People of God, I am coming on live today with some revival announcements and updates. I want to tell you what has been happening in Tampa revival. People are calling it the Chelsea Street revival. People are calling it the core revival.
Yeah, the people that are doing that is Jenny Weaver. So she's the one posting on her Facebook all the time, come to the Chelsea Street revival. Ain't nobody else doing it.
They're just calling it whatever they want. And we're not really putting a name on it, but we are identifying that the Lord is moving so mightily. And when I tell you it's completely different than what we've already experienced in this ministry, there is a massive outpouring, and we have never seen, I have never seen in the time that I've been saved, or in the time that we have even had the core group since 2022, I've never seen the healings, the physical healings.
Great. Want to share some of those? Or is it going to be another one of those silly videos that you did with a woman who was supposedly born deaf, but you provide absolutely no context or proof whatsoever? You see, if it was true, and God certainly could do it, then why in the world would you not prove it? Why in the world would you not bring the most maximum glory to God as possible? Because somebody born deaf has medical records that they were born deaf. They have throughout their life history. And now if they can hear, that's something that's measurable. And it would seem that it would be very important if you're so concerned about God's glory that you actually work toward giving him some.
That are erupting in a service. I've never seen it like this. I've not seen the massive amounts of salvations. Like Sunday, 68 something people responding to the call of salvation, literally.
Yeah, I mean, that's the typical charismaniacal, sinner's prayer based off the purpose-driven life, please raise your hand. I see that hand. And you basically count everybody that comes up to altar call. But salvation is not about inviting Jesus into your heart. That's like really bad theology. Anyway.
Altars full, people trying to get to the altar, having to go down the aisles and just kneel in the aisles. Just an outpouring like we've never seen before. And we feel from the Lord to continue. In the middle of our services, we started to notice there was a fog. Y'all, I'm going to start posting video. If you have a testimony, you've seen it, you've been at the Core Revival Center, when that fog starts to appear over the congregation.
If you're wondering, you got it right. Jenny Weaver is claiming that the Bethel glory cloud nonsense has now somehow filtered in through her HVAC system as the presence of God descended upon her faux revival. It's just, and they may very well, I haven't seen them post a video of this yet, but they may very well. I mean, Bethel had a video about it too. And if you believe that God is pouring his glory out at a Bethel Church Friday service, I fear for your salvation. And the same would go for Jenny Weaver. There's no glory cloud. What there is a grift. And what there is a branding. And what better way to, you got to understand, I'm pretty sure the first act was the beach baptism, the deaf woman receiving her hearing. Oh my God, wow, everybody look at this. And within a couple of days, we got this story of the glory cloud as she's building up and fomenting the faux revival. And then all of a sudden you started seeing those glossy promo pictures, and then it ends up on Charisma News. And this is how a faux revival is generated. We saw the same thing at Asbury.
like rape, like
Although much more polished by Jenny. I don't think the kids at Asbury were, maliciously planning anything, whereas Jenny is.
hovering. Please tell us. We don't believe in fog machines. I don't allow those. I never have allowed that in any of our meetings. We just don't do that. And so it's just been amazing. Like,
Sorry.
if you have been there and you've seen the children, little children, talking about 5 years old, and sometimes even younger, 6 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, crying, literally getting out from where their parents are, getting out of the aisle, walking themselves up to the altar, kneeling,
ding dong ding. Yeah, I could do that too. That doesn't mean anything. Other than the fact that you don't understand scripture and you don't understand how tongues is supposed to work, just randomly lapsing into baby babble is not tongues. And we know that because there's no interpretation offered. It's not glorifying God. And just a moment on the way children behave. Children mimic what they're being taught, what they are observing. So a child sees everybody gets to go get dunked. I want to get baptized too, but you don't understand why. And a more responsible answer to that person, to the kid, would be, you don't understand this yet, because this is a matter for adults, and you are a child. So the fact that a child sees other people weeping, prostrating themselves, across the altar, they want in on it. They want in on the action. That's all that's going on.
Kneeling down in the presence of the Lord. You got to imagine, I'm up there watching. Here comes this 6-year-old child by themselves. Hands up. Walking to the altar. Kneeling down, crying.
What does that mean?
Nobody's making them. Nobody's telling them to do this.
But what does it mean? What does it mean? Are they repenting of hitting their sister? What are you talking about?
Then you get a bunch of children all together. And they're all praying. They're all speaking in tongues. They're all trembling under the power of God. We have gone 10 days straight in this outpouring. And it's happening. And it's not just happening with us. It's happening all over. It's really, really happening. It has begun. I feel the presence of the Lord now. It has begun. It has begun. What you have prayed for, it has begun. What you have tarried for, it has begun. What you have fasted for, it has begun. What
has begun? What? That children go up to your altar and cry? What? This is so. It is so frustrating as somebody who runs a discernment ministry and mostly is dealing with charismania and the NAR, because they offer this kind of mishmash of Christianese, and everybody goes, ooh, and nobody understands what it actually means. You've gone 10 straight days, whoop-de-doo. 10 straight days of what? You just had a service. Anyway.
The Lord said, I'm going to begin to reveal it even on a greater scale, on a greater measure to my people. I hear the Lord saying, I'm going to begin to use media cameras. I'm going to begin to use social media. I'm going to begin to use all of these avenues.
That's strange, because that's what you're doing. You're the one using cameras and social media. And what you're trying to do now, Jenny, is you're trying to pretend that it's God talking and basically doing the directing, while you continue to promote your faux revival to lure more people into the core web.
News and these platforms to showcase what I, the Lord, am doing in this hour in my church. For those that are hungry, for those that are dwelling, for those that are abiding, for those that are seeking. I will show myself strong, saith the Lord. Yaramasobrende. And what you thought were just things of yesterday, and what you thought were just things to read about in the history books, the Lord says, I'm breathing on the history books again. I'm breathing new chapters. I'm scribing Yatana Maherebeko.
I'm scribing Yatana Mana. What? What does that mean, Jenny?
So, new pages, new paragraphs of revival, they're being written currently by the hand of the Lord. The Lord is literally choosing places and spaces and ministries and unique expressions to stamp them with revival.
Revival is sold by charismaniacs and hucksters. It's sold as some kind of a tonic, but what you don't see, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, the people that experience this, the vast majority of people who experience this, are not going to feel revived anymore. Whatever is going to happen in their life is going to happen in their life. I give you Brownsville, for example, which went a little longer than 10 days, Jenny. And other than the core, no pun intended, leadership of Brownsville, the Michael Browns of the world, most people who went through that experience are no longer revived, let's just say. It was an experiential, faux Christian experience, and it's the same thing that you're selling here. Don't get me wrong, a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, there may be some core, pun intended, people who will still be there. But I would wager the vast majority of them will have moved on.
And I hear the Lord saying that this will be for the souls. There are outpourings that revive the church. There are outpourings that, bring us back to a revived state of, the power of the Holy Spirit. And the Lord's saying that there will be that, but that is for the souls. It's like everything that the Lord is doing in the church is because of his heart for souls.
That sounds so pious. And we're supposed to believe that God just said that to you. Where did he say it? He whispered it in your ear?
And for the churches who will hear that it is, yes, the summer of souls, and that there is a strong emphasis on salvations, rededications, for the backsliders to come back, for the church hurt people to come back to church. There's an emphasis on that for those ministries that will lean into that. The Lord is going to bless you. The Lord is going to grace you. There's going to be an ease. There's going to be a momentum. There's going to be a thrusting. We are experiencing that in Tampa, Florida. We are literally positioned right on I-4, one of the busiest highways in Florida, right next to, almost in walking distance from the highway, to the Hard Rock Cafe, the Hard Rock, where there's gambling happening 24/7. They don't shut down. Where there's all kinds of things going on, sin, right next to us. And we are now experiencing literally lines of people lining up to get into the Core Bible Study. We brought in extra chairs on Sunday. We had people standing on the wall. We have people sitting all over the floors. And we have no schedule. We don't even have a greeter to open up the service. Do you hear what I just said? We don't even have someone that's welcome to the Core Bible Center, welcome to nothing. We are just sitting there seeking God and waiting for us to tell us the next thing to do in service. No, there's no schedule whatsoever. Last night, we didn't even take up an offering.
The heck you say?
Did y'all hear me?
Yeah. How many people sign up for the core? You don't need an offering. You're fleecing $3 million a year from these people.
We cut the live streams. I cut the live stream, let the camera people be ministered to. And oh my gosh, were they ministered to? Literally, camera people weeping under the presence of the Lord. Woo. I felt the Lord just so strong right there.
That wasn't the Lord.
So this is our revival schedule. The Lord has given us a new rhythm.
Oh.
The Lord has impressed upon us and our leadership team that this revival move must be girded with fasting and prayer throughout the week.
Yeah, I said this at the beginning. Let me translate this for you. She doesn't want to do 7 days a week anymore. The 10 days was too much, but she doesn't want to have to admit that because it would look really odd that she is deciding to break a revival that God is decreeing. So therefore, she has to figure out how to sell the idea that it's actually God that doesn't want her to do 7 days a week. Like, in other words, like you can't organize fasting and praying and do the revival? That's not plausible? You couldn't do the fasting and praying during the day and have your faux revival at night? No? I guess that wouldn't be in rhythm. But, by the way, just a quick word on the emotionally manipulative organ playing in the background throughout this nonsense. This is the same tired shtick at most charismatical churches, where it's like, to kind of lure people into this sense of super spirituality. Like she needs an organ playing in the background while she does this announcement.
So we are going to be fasting and praying weekly. Now, I'm trying to make some moves right now to get our sanctuary open for noonday prayer.
You own the sanctuary, Jenny. What moves do you have to make other than opening the door?
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm going to get us on the live stream. God is a God of order. What people don't understand, like this gentleman just wrote, God is a God of order. What people don't understand is the order that man created. God is not saying that that's his order. That's our order. We have to do the announcements at this time. We have to get the people out at this time. We have to get the kids over here to this. We have to have the newcomers introduction. We have to have a little sermonette. We have to have a little time of, an opening prayer, an opening song, a fast song, a slow song. That's man's order.
You gotta love the absolute mockery of what is modern churchianity. And now she's going to go into things that she's doing that is clearly, she's running a church service. That's all this is. This notion that, we don't script anything and we're all just sitting around doing nothing. No, that's not true.
You can't find one single church or ministry or movement or person in the Bible that abided by that.
That's because there was no churches when the Bible was written. Do you own a Bible?
Not one. You don't see Paul doing that with the early church. You don't see Peter doing that with the church of Antioch. You don't see Jesus.
Yeah, there was obviously churches from when Paul established, but I'm saying like the modern church service, he outlines it in his letters, how the church service is supposed to be organized. But this notion she has that there was no praise and worship, I guess, or there was no preaching. I don't. First of all, she doesn't know that. I mean, Acts tells us that the church would gather around and listen to the apostles' teaching. So I think there was the elements of a modern church service. I don't think there was any kind of like sinner's prayer, or I don't think Paul read off announcements. But you're comparing apples and oranges from 2,000 years apart.
Doing that when he would just go and have meetings like the Sermon on the Mount. You don't see that. And yet in your mind, you think that that's what God wants for every single ministry. The craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. And literally when you try to tell people this, like, they don't get it. They literally don't get it.
I don't buy that. I think that people would generally get that not every single service has to be the same exact tired, kind of formatting and way. Yeah.
They don't get that none of the apostles said a prayer, Jesus, come into my heart.
That's true. But you just said that 68 people had salvations yesterday. How did you do that? How do you know that 68 people had salvations? I'm going to guess that you led them in a sinner's prayer, Jenny, because that's what churchianity does. So now why are you mocking it and saying, and nobody asked Jesus into their heart in the Bible? Yeah, but you just did it 68 times yesterday.
To make them saved. They literally were just followers of Jesus Christ, and they followed him day in, day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. God's shaking everything that can be shaken. Every religious system is coming down.
By you having religious services? Come on. You're not doing anything different. You just did it 10 days in a row. I mean, go look at the videos that she's posted from this. There appears to be times of worship. There's times of preaching. There's church service. That's what she's calling revival.
This is why God will raise up an ex-drug addict like myself from the streets. This is why God will raise up people with tattoos all over their face. This is why God is going to raise up people with weird hair color and mohawks and big old earrings in their ear. Those don't even know what they are. The humongous things. Just a different person. God is raising up even people that were not brought up in the church. Why? Because we don't have to pull out religion out of them.
Religion is such a dirty word. This is more the charismaniacal gobbledygook. God established religion. Jesus established religion. What do you think the New Testament is? Experiential Christianity exists because people don't like to listen to what God has said in the Bible.
Or it wasn't put in them. He's getting the wild ones, the radical ones. Gauges, thank you. The gauges. I don't know what things are called. I'm 43 years old. Whew. He's going to raise up those that are unassuming. They come in. Nobody expects them to shake the whole place up, but they will. So the Lord has given us a strategy for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to pray and to fast.
You sure that
and I'm
was
going
the
to
Lord?
try to open up the sanctuary because people are coming in from all over and like, y'all, we have to do something. I'm serious. Like, our core campground is full of people. And I want to open up for prayer where you can just walk the sanctuary. We have the music on, we have the lights on, we have someone in there hosting, and you just walk, you pray, you journal, you can pray over the seats, you can anoint the seats, you can walk the property. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pray, fast. And then we're going to come back. This week, we're coming back Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 7 p.m. And even in our small groups, our discipleship groups, the Lord gave me a vision of revival breaking out in the groups. So every leader, just be ready to literally take what's
Just a word on that. I mean, bridge groups, small groups, that was a core feature, no pun intended, of Rick Warren's purpose-driven church model. And I lived it at my old church, right? We had bridge groups. I think at the height, we had over 200 bridge groups. I was a bridge group leader. And the reality is that it eventually grew. By the time it got to the point that there was 200 groups, it was simply untenable. There's not that many people in the congregation, even as large as we had, which was about 2,000. There's not enough people that are seasoned enough in the Lord to actually lead other people in a bridge group. And quite frankly, if her leaders are trained by her, I fear what's happening in the bridge group or in these small groups that she's talking about, because it's bad enough that you're following Jenny Weaver, but if you're following like Jenny Weaver's like adherents, who know less than Jenny knows, and that person is some kind of a spiritual authority now in your life, it is really spiritually dangerous.
Oh my gosh, I feel the Lord so strong.
No, you don't.
My whole insides are trembling. Take everything that has happened inside the sanctuary in these revival, and it's going to be distributed into even the small groups. We're doing small groups. The Lord said, don't neglect the discipleship during this revival, because so many people are getting saved. Guys, we've never done anything like this before, ever. Are y'all hearing me? We've never had volunteers. We need to get volunteers every single day. Multiple teams to help us with this. Cleanup teams, tear down teams, deliverance teams, prayer teams, ushers, the children's workers.
It sure sounds, Jenny, like you're having church service. The thing you were mocking 5 minutes ago. I thought you all just sitting around letting the spirit and the glory cloud like smack you upside the head so you can figure out what you want to do that night. But it sure sounds like you're running a church service. You got ushers. I know you don't have a greeter. I mean, you made that clear. But you got ushers and prayer teams and, breakdown teams and cleanup teams. And so I'm not sure what you were mocking.
Parking lot people, the cafe.
The parking lot, a parking lot ministry and a cafe. And you want to mock churchianity.
All these teams, like what? We had service once a month. And now we're going at a daily, like weekly stuff over the whole summer. The summer of souls. And so we're gonna do that. And I feel like revival is gonna break out. And every time structure that we've placed, even on small groups, that's out the window. Go and flow, and people got to get in where they fit in, and they got to just know that this is revival, and everything's changing for the summer. Everything's changing for the summer. Everything's changing for the summer.
Yeah, saying it 3 times doesn't make it any more spiritual. But I also don't quite understand the notion. So God only wants the revival for the summer, because that's a little odd to me. Almost as odd as when Asbury broke up their revival because the locals didn't like the fact that they were losing their parking spaces.
I don't know after the summer. I don't know what the Lord is going to do. But I know that I heard summer.
I know. You're going to probably go back to your core grifting, pun intended this time, because your college is going to start up again, your school, the stupid natural. And since I believe that netted you a cool $500,000 last year, the first go around, I'm going to assume that you're not going to be able to maintain a schedule of 4 services a week when you normally do 1 a month.
Summer of Souls. We're going to have, we're starting today. I'm working on something from our evangelist director. He brought this to me. He said, we need a core school of evangelism. Great. Let's get that going now. I want
core school of evangelism. And I just curious what that's going to cost.
On the streets. I want us to go out. I'm going to be with you all, not just sending people. I'm coming. Y'all know I got my side-by-side. I take that side-by-side, literally drive through the community, beeping the horn. Literally going up to people's houses, beeping the horn. And telling them, hey, come here. I want to tell you about Jesus. Come on out. Hey, I got a plate of food for you. Can I talk to you right quick?
And in fairness to Jenny, she is very hands-on. She does the work of the grifting. She's continually working on building this. And she's not aloof like a lot of other charismaniacal leaders are, where they just have things set up and they go speak, but they're not actually like on the ground. She does appear to be very much connected to the people that she's grifting from, but it doesn't change the fact that she's grifting from them.
We go door to door, Stephen, myself, and our teams, because people are dying and going to hell. And the church is getting feel-good goosebumps inside of a building.
That's what you're selling, though. The feel-good goosebumps of your faux revival for 10 days. Could just go look at her Facebook page. That's all it is. Is this, this fantastic video and that fantastic video and, all the goosebumps.
And all around us in every part of the whole community, people are committing suicide, broken, hurting, using drugs, in sin. And the church is falling out on the ground. For what? Fall out on the ground to get empowered, to get up and go preach the gospel.
Yeah. Like you're doing. Go look at the videos and all the people who have fallen on the ground at this revival.
You don't just get a fallout and just get a touch for no reason. That's hoarding. That's rude. That's wrong. That's selfish. So we are going to be meeting. Can anyone join the small groups? Vince worships. Yes, absolutely. And you guys, I just posted his testimony from Vince worships. Go to his page. And he did a great job with their video too. Great job. I love how young people can just create content, just put the little videos together. Anybody can come to these small groups. So the men go and meet on Thursday. I'm going to have the women meeting with me in the sanctuary. The teens go and meet, and the kids it's where we are teaching, establishing the Word of God. And then Friday, full on, everybody comes together in the sanctuary, full on what we've been having, outpouring revival. Full on Saturday night revival, Sunday night revival, come from all over. We are going to start having a pastor section because we had like 40 something pastors from other ministries in the area come. Look at Priscilla. I was blown away to see so many pastors. Oh my gosh, I got chills because you actually had to type that before I said it, because I know the comments are lag quite a bit. So wow, that's powerful. I was really, really shocked. I was like, why are all these pastors at our ministry? Pastors don't go to other ministries like that unless they're a guest speaker. And when I talked to some of them after service, they said we had to come because we need a refreshing.
Pies.
So I want to have a section where we can take care of the pastors and the leaders of this community. Because guys, when we prayed for the pastors, and I want to just commend Leslie, our deliverance director, for how she's poured into the deliverance team, because they did this so spontaneously, and I've never seen them do this before. Deliverance happens all the time at our altars. But when we brought the pastors up, some of the pastors started going through deliverance pretty intensely for quite a long time. Our teams jumped into place and took modesty cloths, and 2 people were holding 3 people, and they connected the modesty cloths and literally built a privacy chamber around the pastors.
Why? That's an absolutely insane story. First of all, I mean, unless I'm not understanding what she means by deliverance, but I think I do because I've seen her do deliverance videos. So you are saying that 40 pastors from your area have shown up, and many of them had to go up for deliverance? You mean they were demonically possessed and influenced and had to be delivered from it? First of all, that's insane. Second of all, then why did your deliverance team cordon them off so that nobody else could see them? Did you do that for the other people that were going up for deliverance? Why did the pastors have to have that?
so they could go through deliverance and have some privacy.
Why do they need the privacy? They're completely public figures to begin with, number one. Number two, what are they being delivered from? Oh, dear Lord.
That's our team. That's how our team rolls. And I was just like, I literally never taught them to do that. I never remembered that in the manual, not even in core college, like we never said to do.
In the manual, in core college? Tell me again how you aren't really doing church?
Yeah, and they instinctively knew the pastors need to be, there's another level of privacy that they need with the cameras going, they're.
Why? Why would they need another level of privacy? They're going to a public service. They are cosplaying as pastors.
Here, the congregation could be watching. Not
Who
that
cares?
it was shameful, but it was so beautiful that.
No, but you're acting like it's shameful. That's the point. It doesn't mean anything for you to go, well, it's not that it's shameful. Then why are you doing it?
Our team knew. Let them throw up and slobber and scream and do all that.
Throw up and slobber? What demons are they being delivered from? And why are they pastoring?
Where they could feel the release to be able to do that. And sometimes we do that for other people too. They did that for our daughter. When our daughter went through deliverance, the teens all formed a barrier around her so that she could be protected from everyone looking at Jenny and Stephen's daughter going to deliverance. It's so beautiful.
What's beautiful about it? No offense, Jenny, why does your daughter need privacy and the other people don't? Why do the pastors need privacy and the other people don't? Why are you cordoning off people so that they can be delivered from their demons without anybody seeing it? Nonsense.
God has given us a divine rhythm.
No.
I was just talking to Deborah Rose on here, one of our intercessor captains. And I just said, guys, I want to start doing noonday prayer on Zoom. Stream it live if we have to. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is all of our teams, our whole volunteers, everybody that's in town. We're all praying. So whether you are online and you're partnering with us for your lunchtime prayer time, I want to do that throughout the summer. And at the same time, I want to somehow get a schedule going where we can open up the sanctuary, even if it's for an hour or two, where you can come on your lunch break, drive over, if it's your day off, or you're on the campground, or you came in for revival that week, or you're on vacation, you can come to the sanctuary. You will see me there for periods of time. I don't have prayer teams only. I am a part of the prayer team. That's what y'all don't get. I don't just have teams of intercessors. I'm a part of the team of intercessors. Stephen is a part of the intercessors. Yesterday I prayed in service until my stomach muscles literally hurt. And then I said out loud, I said, y'all need to pray till your stomach muscles hurt. That's because mine were hurting. And the Lord began to tell me, how can the people know unless they see the leaders do it?
Do you have like the bat phone straight to the throne room? Is he giving you? Is God sending you DMs? I'm trying to understand, because you keep saying like, God told me this, God told me that.
I'm a part of the cleanup team. I was up there yesterday. I spent the night at the church on Sunday night. My family went home. I stayed back. I got up. I started walking through, cleaning, resetting the rooms, mopping the floors, getting on my hands and knees, scraping stuff with my fingernails. I need my nails done today. Scraping stuff off the floor.
Me? Look at everything I'm doing. Me, I'm scraping things off the floor and I'm mopping. What does the Bible say about not letting your right hand know what your left hand is doing?
Picking up linens, going down to the kitchen, trying to do my best. I had to actually call reinforcements. I said, somebody come help me. There's nothing off limits that Stephen and I won't do as leaders. We get down there in the altar and pray with people. We also do deliverance. We go and run the sound in the back if I have to. I was doing that for graduation. I was running media in the back, putting on videos, putting on music. Y'all don't be knowing what I'm doing, but I'm there helping. That's right, Mandy. Mandy's on our worship team, and yet she was making breakfast for the teams. She was cleaning. She was setting up prom. She was making tea for us. You know what I mean? Running store runs, getting supplies. In revival, everybody has to pitch in and help. Because, let me tell you why. Because yesterday, there was something on the platform. It was wrapped in this big black bag. I didn't know what it was. It was a weird shape. And I don't know why, but I never touched that bag. I saw this weird plastic bag, like a grocery bag with something inside of it, and it was all wrapped up. You couldn't see through the bag. And I walked by that thing probably 100 times. I was walking the altars praying. We did it for hours. And at the very end of service, we were taking time to let people share where they were from. And I was walking around with the microphone, getting all the testimonies. And someone said, turn around to that bag. I looked at the bag and said, what is this? And I said, open it. Y'all, what? I opened this bag, and it is a full, unopened bottle of liquor that somebody during, I don't know when it was, during our prayer, and we literally ministered to every single person that came personally. I said, I cut the live stream. I said, I want to personally minister to every single person in here. And somebody at one point went and got the alcohol and they put it at the altar. I held it up and showed everybody. And I said, this was supposed to be for after service. Like they came in like, yeah, I'm going to go to church or whatever. But after, I'm going to get tore up. I'm going to wash my sorrows away in this bottle. I don't even know what kind of liquor it was. And they decided, no, Jesus is enough. I'm leaving the bottle at the altar. All my life, raised in church and then even in ministry, I've never seen a full bottle unopened, wrapped up in the bag, the little private bag so nobody sees what's inside, laid at an altar. I told them, take this outside and I want you to break this and bust this.
You know, one of the primary weapons of the charismaniacal huckster are anecdotal stories that have there's no way to, prove them or disprove them. And by the way, it very easily could be true. The average lifespan, when I say lifespan, I mean time that somebody spends in a charismaniacal church is 3 years, because that's all it takes them to realize that they've been duped. But initially, we're all on fire for God, right? We're all wanting to do everything we can. So it certainly is plausible that somebody, left the bottle.
And they did. That is why all of us need to be prepared to do whatever it takes, whether it's cleaning, showing up early, staying late. My family, sometimes we stay till 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's your center. It's your church. You're the one making over $3 million a year from it.
We don't go to bed until 2:33. because somebody's life depends on it. People are coming to the revival. They've never heard of me. Now that is what I want. They're literally just here. We're passing out flyers in the community, like revival is broken out. And people are coming, and our team's praying with them. They're like, yeah, how did you get, do you know Apostle Jenny? And who? What's an apostle?
Apostle Jenny. But a second ago, that's what I really want. I don't want anybody to know who I am. But in case you were wondering, I'm an apostle.
Who's Jenny? Who's Stephen? We don't know them. We don't know who the leadership is here. We were just told that if we come here, we can get help. It makes me so emotional because who are we? Who are we? What have we done to be able to be a part of something like this? Like, it literally makes me emotional. I'm looking back over.
You organized it. You branded it. You're selling it. Who are you? You're the organizer of it.
My life, like, okay, know I love the Lord, and live right. But there are a lot of people that love the Lord and live right. And they've been praying for something like this and have not yet seen it. So why is the Lord pouring out like this in Tampa? I don't know the answers, and I don't need to know. I just need to keep moving.
At least through the summer. Now 4 days a week. Instead of 7.
Well, anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Stephen said, pack your bags and get to the building this weekend. Actually, Thursday's Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I want people to start coming out even to the small groups. Guys, if the small groups really start hitting, and those Thursday nights, we'll continue that through the summer too. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know what's going to happen with our teams. I don't know. But I know that God's going to grace us with apostolic strategy and a divine rhythm because it's what He is pouring out.
Apostolic strategy and divine
7
rhythm.
7 p.m. Come if you're coming in with.
Just curious, if you had apostolic vision and divine rhythm on your prophecy bingo card, you only got 3 more to go.
On Thursday, you're going to be in for a treat because it's going to be a unique expression of a move of God. Are we still doing class on Tuesday? You better believe it. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know what is going to happen tonight in class. So just be ready. That's all I got to say. I don't know what is going to happen in class, but if we are, oh my God, I feel the Lord so strong. If we are in an outpouring, you better believe that revival is going to break out in class. We are in an outpouring. You better believe that a revival is going to break out on Core Men on Wednesday nights. You better believe that God is going to break out on that noonday prayer. Oh yeah, we're having it. We're having class. How do we get into this class? It's a core mentorship. I have a post pinned in my page. Go to coregroupmentorship.com. It's my private mentorship group that I host class on Tuesday nights.
That's the $20 a month. That's the entire point of this video. That's the entire point of the Faux Revival, is to lure more people in. And then the logical question this person asked on this live stream, because she's, you better believe that the class is going to be off the chain tonight, knowing full well that quite a few people who are watching don't know what that means. And they're all like, how do I get this class? Oh, just go to corementorship.com. But then if you go there and you sign up, it's $20 a month. Recurring charge.
Anyway, I gotta go. I actually wanted to get off here because I actually do want to attend Joshua Giles live today. He's going to be talking about prophetic shift with all the riots and everything.
Oh, Prophecy Mingo card alert. If prophetic shift was also on your card, 2 more to go.
That is happening in our world today. And I really wanted to position myself to be ready to hear that. And I'm going to be listening while I'm working on Core School of Evangelism, as well as the Core Virtual Online Academy, which is our homeschool program that we are going to be rolling out soon for you to be able to enroll. And I'm going to have to start a waiting list for it because I didn't know so many people wanted to be in it. It's going to be amazing. Also, I have opened up early Core College. So if you want to learn how to thrive in ministry, you want to learn.
Here comes the hard sell part, in case you haven't caught on yet. It's like, I'm going to develop all this stuff and roll it out to you. Oh, and I'm going to open up the Core College early, and like I said earlier, $1,000 a course for the year. $2,300 if you want to enroll in all 4.
Deliverance and Inner Healing Ministry. You take a year course with me. It's phenomenal. You want to learn leadership and development. We go over the apostle, the pastor, the prophet, the evangelist, the teacher, all ministry protocols, servant leadership, so many wonderful things that we learn in that year study. We've got prophetic ministry track that I love that one. And then we have spiritual warfare and intercession track as well. Our graduating class had over 450 students.
450 students. But that's not 450 individual classes, because a student could have enrolled in more than one. But let's just say it's a baseline at $1,000 a pop. Then the first year of Core College netted Jenny $450,000. Because, Jesus.
Online and those that came in person, and it was amazing for our very first year. So I'm going to be opening up year 2 for the prophetic track, as well as year 2 for the deliverance track, so you can go even a second year with me deeper in that. So that's open. Again, go to coregroupmentorship.com, and in the menu you'll see Core College, you'll see our events, you'll see the kid revival that's coming up this month, you'll see the marriage retreat that's coming up in the fall, you'll see the Halloween mass deliverance service we're going to have with Apostle Pagani, and so many things.
Is Alexander Pagani an apostle? I wasn't even aware of that. Did Jenny anoint him when I was sleeping? I don't mean to laugh because you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people following these people. The path that leads to destruction is broad for a reason, because there are a lot of people on it. A lot of people, Matthew 7, stand before Jesus and say, Lord, Lord, did we not go to Jenny Weaver's revival? Lord, Lord, did I not follow Apostle Pagani? Did I not cast demons out that didn't exist? Lord, Lord, didn't I baptize my 5-year-old kid at the Chelsea Street revival? Lord, Lord, didn't I sign up for Core College? And I took all 4 classes at once, Lord. I paid out $2,300. And he's going to say, I never knew you.
Are happening. I do want to say, if there's anybody on here and you have asked me to come to your ministry events and I said yes, I have to apologize to you because I unfortunately have had to go through my calendar and had to. It's very rare that I've ever done this in ministry. When I commit to going, I go. But how was I supposed to know that a spontaneous revival was going to break out?
Because it wasn't spontaneous, and it's not a revival. It was a pre-planned push from you once you announced the Summer of Souls nonsense It was now granted, maybe the design's been evolving, but the notion that this is just a spontaneous, please, you're embarrassing yourself. You're promoting it.
And we needed to be here for what's happening, and everything has to shift. So please, please, please give me grace and know that this is not my normal.
Give me grace. Is that on your card? That's 4. 1 to go.
But I have to be obedient to what the Lord is telling us to do and what he's doing here. And so please accept my apology, but I've got to be here at the Core Revival Center right now. So I've had to rearrange my travels and pull out of some things. And I know that can be difficult for people, but know that your event is going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. And just please, again, give me grace. And all of you pray for us. We love you. Stephen's putting the Core Group app in the chat. I don't necessarily think people can click on links in the comments section. Guys, are you able to click the link in the comment section? I don't know. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.
Aw, we didn't get bingo. All right, well, thanks for sticking around for that hour that I can't get back in my life. Listen, the Bible is very clear. There is no end-time revival. There's an end-time apostasy. And people like her are the ones leading it. I feel very badly for the people who are snookered, for the people who are desperately seeking something. And I get the emotional aspect of it and the sense of wanting to belong and be in community. But either we're listening to what God has said in his word, or we are making it up as we go along. Jenny Weaver's theology is horrifically bad. All you have to do is look at the people she associates with. Apostle Pagani, Apostle Eckhart. But this is what she does really, really well. Branding and selling. And this is with the organ playing in the background, a heart-tugging, folksy, y'all, we're just, I just got a mop in my hand and I'm trying to help out wherever I can. Because, it's not just that we fall out, but we fall out and we get up and we preach the gospel. Well, hallelujah. Just make sure you sign up for that core now. And listen, the Bible says a workman's worth his wages. I have no problem with pastors being paid. I have no problem with pastors making money. I have a problem with pastors. If her theology was really good and really sound, which it's demonstrably not, I would probably question some of her motivation if she still did the core grift. My feeling is she probably wouldn't if she was biblically sound. So the problem is not just that she's robbing the people of God blind, but it's that she's shipwrecking people's faith. It's that, like I said, the folks in Matthew 7 are following Jenny Weaver. A friend of mine's a youth pastor at a church, a local church here, and he had some members in his youth ministry. It's like the 20-something ministry, and he had some members that had latched on to this cult, and they were trying to recruit other members. You got to join the core. You got to come. There's something going on in Tampa. And you can do it too virtually. It's only $20. And my friend got wind of it, and he asked my opinion. And I was like, yeah, bad news. Absolutely, you want to protect your flock and make sure that they do not, because it undermines, first of all, what you're doing as a local pastor. But more importantly than that, our theology is just wackadoodle. And he tried to reason with these folks, and they got adamant and angry because you don't come against the idol in your idolatry. And they had to be basically kicked out. But I feel bad. I feel bad because it sounds like there's a lot of people being suckered, and they're hurting, and they may get a good sense of community, and they may, feel better and get the goosebumps Jenny was talking about. I just fear where they're going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and at some point, I pray as somebody preaches the actual gospel of Jesus Christ to them. But until then, thank you for stopping by. Leave your comments. I try to get back to everybody. Give it a thumbs up, share the video. Mark and avoid Jenny Weaver, in case you were wondering. Test everything and hold fast.